Hello everyone and welcome back to another week of Championship predictions. This time we're predicting match week 14 for the Championship. Hopefully you're all going to enjoy the video. If you do, smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the games in the comment section down below. Here we go. We begin on the lunchtime kickoff. It's Leeds hosting Huddersfield Town at Ellen Road. Midweek it was defeat for both of these sides. Of course Leeds lost 1-0 to Stoke in that late kickoff on the Wednesday. And for Huddersfield, they lost 4-0 to Cardiff at home. So, in this one, it's redemption time for both sides. But I've got to back the hosts, Leeds, for a 2-0 win here. Huddersfield, under Darren Moore, of course, they got those few points early on. And then I think they got a win, and now it seems like it's all going downhill. Let's hope for their sake they can pick it up sooner rather than later. But I can't see it in this one against a solid Leeds United side. Moving on to St Mary's, it's Southampton hosting Birmingham. What an entertaining game it was for Southampton midweek. Going 1-0 up against Preston, 2-1 down, and a late equaliser. They love their late goals, Southampton, as of recent games. Coming up against a Birmingham City side who, under Wayne Rooney, haven't started well at all. After that managerial switch earlier on. In this one, I have to back the Saints for a 2-1 win. You look at the team, it's incredible. Maybe if John Eustace was still in charge of Birmingham, maybe would have predicted a draw. However, he's not, so let's not do if buts and maybes here. Southampton for the 2-1 win here. Off to Ewood Park, it's Blackburn hosting my team Swansea. Was very disappointed with Swansea midweek against Watford. It was one of those games where you thought after half time, this is going to end 0-0. Of course, we had our goal disallowed, the Pedson one. Still, do not think it should have been ruled out, if I'm being honest. And then Watford typically score and win the game, which was their first away win in so many games. It was so typical to happen against us. Coming up against a Blackburn side who, as of recent, have been playing some good stuff and now getting the results to show for it. We have an awful record away at Blackburn, so I'm being logical here. I do think Blackburn will get the 3 points in a 2-1 win at Ewood Park. Next up, it's time to predict the seven-side derby. It's Cardiff hosting Bristol City at the Cardiff City Stadium. In this one, I've gone for goals galore in a 3-3 draw. That'll be an absolute thriller. These two sides often have entertaining matchups. Of course, Cardiff beat Huddersfield 4-0 midweek. As for Bristol, it was a narrow defeat to Ipswich Town, only by the 1-0. They had a few chances to get a goal. Wasn't their best performance from Bristol City. However, in this one, I'm backing them for a point against their rivals Cardiff. Moving on to Hull hosting Preston. Two sides who are really difficult to predict at the moment. Preston still hanging on to that playoff spot at the moment. Hull knocking on the door to get in the playoffs. In this one, I'm going to predict the draw. 2-2 in Hull. Moving on, we go to Portman Road. It's Ipswich hosting also newly promoted Plymouth Argyle. Of course, these were the sides that finished in the top two. Plymouth won the league last year in League One, and Ipswich come up in second place. This season, both sides have done, Ipswich have done incredibly well. As for Plymouth, done better than what a lot of people expected coming up from League One. In this one, though, it's really difficult to back against Ipswich. I said it last week, where all the midweek predictions, where I thought there's going to be some point in this season where Ipswich surely will just start dropping off points by drawing a few games. Maybe not necessarily losing games, but drawing games here and there and letting someone like Leeds catch up. But then, of course, Leeds go and lose to Stoke last week. And now I think it's like a 6-point gap Ipswich have got on Leeds with a game in hand. And when you think about it like that, you know, if they win that game in hand, that's 9 points ahead. And I can't see them dropping that many points as of yet. You know, they've been so impressive to watch, Ipswich. And if they can get back-to-back promotions, that'll be sensational for them. Ipswich as a club, really like them. I like Plymouth as well. But in this one, I have to back the Tractor Boys for a 3-0 win at home. Off to the Riverside, it's Middlesbrough hosting Stoke. Stoke with a win midweek. So did Middlesbrough 2-1 away at Norwich. Middlesbrough seem to be back in the swing of things in Championship life under Michael Carrick, of course. Continuing how they ended last season, of course, falling to playoff heartbreak against Coventry, of course. In this one, I am going to back the hosts for a 2-0 win at home. But Stoke, they could always throw a spanner in the work, like they did midweek against Leeds. Can't see it happening here though. 2-0 to the Borough. Off to Loftus Road next, it's QPR hosting Leicester. And my score prediction for this one is very bold. It's 6-0 Leicester. But seriously, I genuinely do think that can happen. And QPR, you know, they're a big club. I do like QPR. And I think for the best, it is time to let Ainsworth go after this one. Well, probably should have been ages ago. But, you know, after they sacked it wasn't sacked McBeal last year. They lost him because he went to Rangers, of course. Everything went downhill from there. Critchley come in, did a poor job, replaced him with Ainsworth. I always wanted Ainsworth to do well at QPR because he supports or grew up supporting QPR. There's some story behind it. I thought, yeah, if this works out, it'd be class for both parties. It hasn't. And, you know, he's been in the job, 200 and something days? Almost 250 days? Almost a year. And he has rarely won or got any points, really, as QPR manager. Their home record's awful this season. Leicester cannot stop scoring and winning games. It makes sense. Maresca's Leicester to win 6-0 at Loftus Road. Off to the Stadium of Light, it's Sunderland hosting Norwich City. Both sides looking to improve on recent results in the Championship. At the Stadium of Light though, I'm going to go for Norwich. Something's telling me they'll win 2-1 here. I could easily see a 1-1 draw playing out, but maybe Norwich will just nick it late on in this one. 2-1 to the Canaries away at Stadium of Light. Off the Vicarage Road next, it's Watford hosting Millwall. This one's going to be an interesting game to watch. Can't see many goals in this one. Of course, I got the privilege of watching Watford come to the Swansea.com stadium midweek. I thought their setup was very good, to be honest. The way Ishmael got them to set up against us was clever from a tactical point of view. They were quick to close us down, and they just hit us on the counter-attack every time, going forward, and were quicker to the second balls, I should say. And as soon as they got their goal, they just sat back, held it out, took the 1-0. I think from their perspective as well, at half-time, they probably would have taken a 0-0 draw. But that's the way football goes sometimes. You nick it late on, and it is the Championship. Coming up against a side in Millwall who they sacked Gary Rowett. I can't remember now who's in charge at the moment. But of course they drew 1-1 to Preston last time out. In this one, I'm going to back the draw. 1-1 at Vicarage Road. But if someone wins this, it'll be huge for their confidence. It's a huge game next at Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough as they take on Rotherham. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday lost to another team that got promoted last season midweek in Plymouth Argyle 3-0 in the end at home park there. Here they take on Rotherham, who beat Coventry 2-0 at the New York Stadium midweek. No one's seen that one coming. In this one, it's the new manager's first game at Hillsborough for Sheffield Wednesday. Can he get something out of this game? They have to be looking at these games and winning them. As for Rotherham, there's a few winnable games coming up now for them, including this one. They have to get a win if they're serious about staying in the Championship for next season. So does Sheffield Wednesday. A draw does neither side any favours, even this early on in the season. I'm going to back the away side, the Millers, for a 2-1 victory over Sheffield Wednesday. And the final game to predict is Coventry hosting West Brom. Of course, Coventry lost to Rotherham midweek. As for West Brom, I can't remember their result midweek. I think they got a draw, or no, they beat QPR 2-0, didn't they? At the Hawthorns, of course. In this one, I'm going to back the 1-1 draw. Can't see too many goals in this one. Both sides can't afford a defeat, so I'm going to say a draw, 1-1 in that one. Well then guys, hopefully you have all enjoyed that video. If you have, please drop a like and subscribe as always. If you are interested in watching highlights off my vlog from like the goals, the fans' reactions to goals at the Liberty Stadium this season, then I've uploaded on the Shorts page quite a few clips of Carabao Cup and Championship action of Swansea goals and opponents' goals and the fans celebrating. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, give them a watch. There'll be a few more videos coming out next week, of course. I'm planning on ranking every Championship home kit very soon. Of course, Halloween this week, so hopefully you will have a good one. And I'll see you in the next video very soon, guys. Take care. Goodbye.